they're getting a lot more aggressive in that mid game. But yeah, the early game is I'm really hoping to see a little bit more aggression as we're already starting things off at ZE.
Oh
J
no,
Team.
not a good
Oh
start.
my goodness. Unfortunate for them. They're already going to lose their Karumi. Unfortunate start as we're going to see Lee already getting focused out as well. No weapon in hand. Going to try and use that F ability to come away. But the three Hung Swords, the movement from the Hung Sword, just giving them such a huge advantage. And the last player, it looks like ZE was actually able to get revived by their teammate as they're going to be able to pick up a little bit of loot here going into this. But Baoda's Jing going to try and make a playoff. Jing is going to end up going pretty low, tries to get that Tessa charm off. They're both going to get charmed.
Oh no.
And Peak coming in with the crazy F ability. Both of them getting stunned out now, and ZE is going to end up going down. Oh, bringing it
huge
back around.
damage.
Oh my goodness. Ice fighting, getting a huge parry off, and they're going to fight and bring, oh my goodness,
shot.
ladies and gentlemen. J-Team flipping the fight around. The phenomenal play from Baoda to be able to use that Viper F to prevent them from getting the stun off, from prevent them from interacting and regaining their souls, but they are able to come around and win the fight. That double charged attack from the dual halberds on the RMB, saving them and turning that fight around. Phenomenal parry as well to be able to take the victory in that first fight.
Indeed. I'm so surprised that no one parried it. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm so surprised. That was they definitely had a bunch of time to react to that one. They could have reacted, they could have gone for the parry. It was kind of their only shot at winning that fight, at least for J Team, I mean. So if it's their only shot of winning the fight, then you know that it's one of those mind game situations. So when I've been asked so many times, when should I parry? When should I do this? Or when do I need to do this sort of thing? And I always start telling them that one of the big things that you need to realize is when it's going to be beneficial for your opponent to release a blue focus. At what point in the fight is it? Is it the start of the fight? Is it the end of the fight? Is one person really low HP? Do they need to release a blue focus if they want to win the fight, etc., etc.? And in that situation, J Team, their only shot of winning the fight is if they get that double charge blue focus onto the enemy team. So, as the other team, you know that this guy has like a 80% chance of releasing this blue focus, as it quite frankly is their only chance. So you can bet on that. Those are pretty good odds. You know, those are pretty good odds. And you can safely say that, oh, I'm going to parry this because it's very likely he's going to release. And yeah, no, unfortunately, they don't go for the parry, and they get absolutely shredded by those dual halberds. But again, after that initial bit of fighting at the beginning of the game, we're now slowing it down. KLA out here looting up. We're taking a look at Cuckoo's glyph page. Interesting. Interesting, I have to say. Interesting. No rage for trios. Interesting. But we're going over to the northwest of the map here, and EWG scrapping it out against Bowder. EWG have lost 2 members, and soon to be the third, 14. He does have his ultimate available, but it's just not worth using at this point. He's never going to get any value as a solo monk in a 1v3 situation. So we see him save the ultimate, and Bowder coming away now, taking them up to 5 eliminations. Definitely a solid start for Bowder. Now heading on over to Metab. KLA are very close to XCG, but I don't see them very close to each other just yet. This is where they are going to be forcing this fight, though. KLA immediately jumping onto Xiaonan. Xiaonan taking a lot of damage. Focus Light on QGG is going to knock him down and take him out. And Xiaonan is going to be eliminated. XCG fully split up here. The one team that had the Zai Matari zipping is already in shambles, unfortunately. 2 members already dead. Did J-Team spot him? Wait, what? No way. And he's out of there!
And they're letting him
What
go.
the hell? What He must have not seen him, surely.
They must have thought that maybe there was the rest of the team waiting in the wings or something, but they
Or
are
he's
gonna
blind.
let him go, and
He must
J
be
team
blind,
are gonna
bro.
get him some glasses. I don't know what to do with that, ladies and gentlemen, but they are gonna let him take his life and try and see if XCG can come back into this game here as we're flipping over closer to the Imperial Village and the Yushan Ruins. It's going to be JL TXJ trying to just scale up a little bit more so that they can be a little bit more prepared going into this fight. And now we're flipping over Sleepwalker from WBG. Decent scale on the weapons. They've already got 2 purple pole swords for their team. And looks like we are going to see a Bane dropping onto this cave as they are picking up a key and trying to get a bit of loot going into this stash here, which we don't see very much of in the Pro League, but it's going to be nice to see what they're going to be able to get. It's going to be some Jades and a little bit of a Morris Blessing action going on inside of here. Hopefully they'll be able to scale up a little bit better.
The changes to the Immortal War allows them to buy keys from the shop now. So you're able to buy a key, and then it looks as though WBG playing the full scaling strat, where they get a whole bunch of money, buy themselves a Moonbane, and buy themselves a key, so that they can secure the stash and come away with a whole bunch of loot. 2 purple armors, bunch of purple weapons, and a bunch of jades. Definitely a worthwhile investment, especially now that they're able to go into the first realm of Yang with a lot of loot. Thankfully for XCG, they have managed to pick up a rebirth charm already. Kakaishi, the ninja who managed to avoid J-Team, managed to find himself a rebirth charm to resurrect one of his teammates. Very nice for them. I doubt they'll be going into the realm of Yang. However, they are going to be able to make their way back into this game and hopefully scale up and pick up their 3rd member as well. OUG over here in the desert. Looks like they're going to be going shopping as well. A lot of teams are down in the south over in Metab looking to get into this realm of Yang. Same thing with Alliance in Plume Castle. Looks like JL and 521 are taking shots at each other, but no one really wants to commit just yet, as it is Plume Castle and Realm of Yang is coming up very shortly. However, as I say that, Bowder and J-Team are going to be fighting it out just to the west of Plume Castle. A huge amount of damage coming out off the rip. J-Team Lee extremely low here. The F3 doing wonders, able to keep him relatively healthy. They have committed that Kurumi ultimate already, though. A parry comes out from Ice, but unfortunately it's not going to net them all that much value. Z is so unbelievably low, and he doesn't have ultimate. The F3 is going to come through. Lee now popping that Monk ult. They do get 1 grab. They get a 2nd, but unfortunately the Wu-Chen port is going to come through and save them there. Damn. That was so close.
We almost got to see our first double slam of the day, ladies and gentlemen, but the Wu-Chen had to go and mess it up, porting them out. It's a great way to escape the play, though. It's definitely one of the new difficulties with that Wu-Chen comp being played for these Monk teams going into that fight. Something you definitely will have to watch out for in the future, as we're going to see this Cannonball comp coming off against the Takeda Sand Siphon comp coming through. Kurumi variation being played as well. Great use of the Furen to knock back Unique in the ultimate now, as Yin as well gonna hop into that Faria mech and start dealing a lot of damage, trying to make a play. We are seeing 1 Furen slash left, and KLA QGG on the front foot, trying to deal as much damage as possible, as we are going to see J-Team are going to end up going out, sadly, here. And 521 Unique not able to peel enough for Pampy. And Pampy is going to go down, making this a 3v2. Ultimates are going to be burned by both teams here. So as soon as this Faria mech goes down, it is going to just be a neutral match between the two. F going to get invested from QGG here, trying to see if they can get a grab off. F3 going to come out from Yin, and now the 3v1 onto Unique. It's going to be very difficult for him to be able to survive this here. And the lights coming through, taking out 521's Unique and putting KLA as the winners of this second Realm of Yang.
Wait, the second one?
Realm of Yang. This is the first Realm of Yang.
Now, this early game felt a little slow. Well,
definitely did.
our perception of time is just completely screwed up right now, Zed. It's completely screwed up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's time, a very strange thing. But enough of that. Enough of the philosophy. We've got JL up against EWG to the east of Plume Castle. VVV getting extremely aggressive, grappling in here with those musket shots, trying to get a little bit of damage down before they fully engage and go into that position 1 spot. Forcing out that Tianhai ultimate now. 14 trying to go for some grabs, but unfortunately not able to get anything off the rip. Tap dodged very nicely by JL. VVV with that musket, turning his attention over to XG. Trying his best to disengage. Manages to do so. 9 trying to make something happen. Trying to protect his monk from being bursted down. But he has lost a lot of his health, and he is extremely low now. And it looks as though they're going to leave him to the wolves. That is JL. EWG leaves their monk as the sacrificial lamb. And he is going to be taken down for now. JL, they aren't done with them just yet, though. They're on the chase, and they're going to try their best to lock down EWG 9. But fortunately for him, they were very, very close to Plume Castle, so he is going to be able to go into Plumed and use all of those buildings, all of that terrain to his advantage to stay on the move and stay hidden. One of the great things about Plume Castle, and I have to say, one of the worst things about Plume Castle is that you just can't chase people in that place. You just cannot chase them. It's so difficult to lock down a zipping or something or whatever it might be, as they're just going up and down the giant castle in the in Plumed. It's just so impossible, man. It's so difficult. But if you are a trio and you're chasing down one player, it can be done. It's just extremely hard. But we're going to be going over to OUG and TE.
OUG here, back into this corner. It's a very awkward position to fight in, especially with both Temi ults coming out. OUG's U taking a lot of damage. Still has those 4 Furin slashes on the Takeda, but now getting caught in a Wind Wisp is going to end up getting knocked back here. And SS getting dangerously low, but LYD is going to be the first one to go out into this fight. This Poison Slash might be it for SS, but he is going to be able to get a Soul Bloom, recover. Furin Slash coming out from U to be able to prevent that damage coming off from Han. Leo going to go down. Han, the last remaining player of TE. They're trying to go for the uppercut combo with the Hung Sword here, as Han, just trying to back away as fast as possible, is going to end up getting grappled on. All of these players just sending these light attacks out and are going to eliminate TE from this game completely. TE finishing off with, I believe that is 3 kills on the board, and not the greatest finish for them today. But OUG, phenomenal job at getting those kills. A very awkward spot to fight. They were definitely on the back foot of that for a second there, and OUG being able to turn that fight around very well and bring away those 3 kills.
Indeed. I bet you BBE is very glad to see TE go out here, as they haven't had their the sort of like point threshold breached just yet, and every game that goes by that a team doesn't overtake them is another game that brings them closer to surviving and staying in that bi-weekly final qualification stage. However, we're going to be taking a look at a replay here. OUG going up against WBG in the realm of Yang. Ashio getting taken down extremely low, managing to jump into that Farrier mech just in time. Baige on that Yueshan, trying to make something happen with these slams, doing a really good job of knocking down OUG SS from that pillar. You try to peel with the Furin Blast, the zipping F coming through as well to try and protect him. But it was not enough, unfortunately. The damage coming out from WBG is just too much to handle. Axiona coming out of that Farrier mech extremely low. OUG trying to make something happen. That golden hang sword just doing so much damage. Baige does get taken down in the end, but the rest of WBG has had a chance to reset and get a full heal off. Axia with the Cavalry Bloom coming through like a lawnmower, doing so much. Sleepwalker and Axio at a huge advantage here, and there it is. The F1 is going to come through, but unfortunately, he is in a 1v2 situation. Axio waiting for the moment to use the Cavalry Bloom, and that is how OUG lost that Realm of Yang. that put them in that situation where they had to force a fight to cleanse the Yang depletion, which thankfully they did manage to do. Ooh, Kakaishi been spotted out now, sitting in a bush with no ultimate available. He is on the Matari, so he might be able to disengage here, but he's running it the wrong way. Needs to run to the buildings, my friend. You can't be running into the open there. And unfortunately, he does get taken down. But in the meantime, we had GG in the realm of Yang. I'm not sure if they went uncontested or not. I think they did, yeah. They had all of their ultimates available. So GG goes uncontested in the realm of Yang and pick up Draco Storm. Now, the reason why they pick up Draco Storm here is because they don't need to pick up a buff that gives them their ult charge back. One of the things that we've seen that time and time again now, after they buffed Draco Storm so that it lasts as long as Mystic Might and Vermilion Birds Might, is the people have been picking it up. So when they have gone uncontested in the realm of Yang, as it is an extremely good combat buff, it allows you to take very, very aggressive fights, as it is essentially just Storm Stride on steroids with healing. You know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy good. OUG able to pick up this Spirit Well and pick themselves up a buff and some loot, but unfortunately no team to immediately engage on. However, over here, GG fending off JL, forcing them back. No fight is going to come out here just yet, I don't think. But 521's Pampy is in a lot of danger. OUG manages to find their next victim. Yin out on his own. Yu finds him along with SS, and it's absolutely cooked. These players, they're just running into the zone and not towards the buildings. What are they doing, Seb? What is going on here, bro?
I'm not too sure. It's definitely the panic of being that last player alive, getting found out by a team. I've been in this situation many times. I'm pretty sure everybody who's played Naraka being that last player alive, just trying to hold out and get as much placement as possible into these games. You're gonna panic. You're just gonna run away. You're not thinking exactly where. You're just thinking fight or flight
where should
mode.
I run? I just gotta run.
Your flight mode comes out. You start running away. Then you might end up trying to turn around and take a fight, but it's very difficult for these players to differentiate. Oh, I need to go to a building. I need to find cover and hide. If they end up running into a building, their reactivity skills will kick in and go, okay, now I can scale rush, grapple onto this wall, go onto the roof, and then be able to break some ankles. But when they're out in the open and they're just trying to run away, it's very difficult for them to just think, okay, I need to go to a building. I need to be able to run away. And they end up getting caught out. They try to make a last play, a last ditch effort to run away. And the last two times we just saw it with XCG's Kakashi, and then we just saw it with 521. They were unsuccessful. I mean, the amount of stun, the amount of stagger that these teams have, especially you just stagger from getting grapple checked and the stagger from these weapons, it makes it so difficult to be able to dodge away, especially after you've already burned your skill and or your ultimate. It's definitely very difficult. So unless you're Roy Shishi, who is one of the legends of the 3v1, it almost can't be done. As we're flipping back around to a replay here of the Realm of Yang, Team GG versus TE in the Realm of Yang. We are going to see them going up against each other. TE going to end up taking a lot of damage, losing two of their players really quickly, and Leo, already on very little health, is going to end up also going down.
Indeed. You are right. It does come down to that sort of like fight or flight kind of moment, and you can panic a little bit. However, it just shows that like we're all human. We can all make mistakes, but at the same time, you're a pro. You're a pro in NBPL. You got to have the presence of mind to think, okay, let me run towards the wall, the building that I can actually kite around. And it is a piece of advice that I have for all of you in chat. If you're ever in a bad situation, you ever have to run away, don't run into the open, because you're just a sitting duck. You're just going to get grappled. You're just going to get chased down. Always run towards a building, something that you can use to kite around, something that you can use to just sort of like juke around, maybe play a little bit of ring around the rosy with the enemy player, you know, or scale rush, just disengage somewhat, and something that you can use to break line of sight. Otherwise, you are never getting away. You're just never getting away.
The more you know
Especially
with
when you're
Dunkin'
being
Donuts.
chased by extremely good players. Wait, what?
I was saying, the more you know with Dunkin' Donuts, always giving us
Exactly.
some of the greatest tips. Taught me a lot of great things about the game. Definitely a very knowledgeable person when it comes to Naraka Bladepoint. And
Thank you.
very, very good advice, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. You should be taking this advice to heart, keeping it with you for the rest of your lives in your
Yes,
Naraka careers,
remember
ladies
it
and
till the
gentlemen.
day you die.
100%. As we're flipping over, there are about 9 minutes left into this game. Circle 4 is going to be closing onto Circle 5 shortly. The team that has been dominating a lot of this game has been KLA, with already 10 kills onto the board. They're in a very good position right now. If they're going to be able to hold it out to that end game, they were unable to last time. They did end up going out pretty early. So hopefully they'll be able to hold out to the end this time and maybe get a second place finish or a third place finish. Definitely the ideal situation for them. WBG, pretty stacked on loot, but they don't have as many kills on the board as they would have liked to have. Only 3 so far. Hopefully they'll be able to come away with a little bit more coming into this final circle, maybe pick up a kill going into it. We do have 18 players left, so a few more than last time going into this stage, but not that many. Lots of the times we'll be seeing 25 to 26 players left in this form of the game with 8 minutes left, but you know, 18, healthy number. We're still going to see some really good fights and a lot of action going down, so everyone's still going to be extremely excited going into this game.
Indeed. Taking a look at the shop here, we can see there was a golden greatsword that's already been bought in the shop name, and a golden armor as well. That's one of the things that's very cool about the new shop, is that you can buy all of these things, and that it's different every game as well. You can typically always buy a golden armor, but the weapon that you can buy and the soul jades that you can buy is always different, I think. So, very cool addition to the game. Along with these spirit wells here that we just saw GG managing to secure for themselves, picking up another golden armor. And we see a lot of these teams in the end game who are already in a good position. Teams that have done well so far have managed to scale out somewhat, are able to just keep the ball rolling by securing those late game spirit wells. And we see so much action happening around those spirit wells. I definitely like this as an addition to the game. The Morris Blessings were definitely fun. And they were definitely a very they were a staple thing in Naraka, but now that they've been completely removed from Immortal War, I have to say I don't exactly miss them.
Of Yang.
Yeah, but it's not really the same thing.
It's definitely
not
the same. And the capture system where you had to capture the Morris Blessings in trios versus the Spirit Well, which you still do have to capture, but it's more of an area instead of holding yourself to that one angle. It gives it a little bit of a different element and a different vibe. I personally
and you're protected from ranged
change.
attacks as well.
Yes.
When you're inside the dome, which is really nice.
It causes these players not to need to, let's say, burn a Tumult ult. Just trying to go for that loot. It gives a little bit more of a easier time for these players to go for the loot, while creating a more competitive element, because, you know, if a team runs up on you into that zone, you are still vulnerable to these melee attacks if they come inside the circle.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think one of the great things about the Immortal War changes is just simply the fact that it's created so many more avenues for these teams to scale, and so many avenues for these teams to like play around. Like, there are so many new strategies that can be thought up and used with this new Immortal War system, allowing for just like a lot more variety, I feel. And it's definitely nice to see, as opposed to everyone kill Realm of Yang, everyone save soul blooms, don't eat soul blooms, leave them there. And then the Morris Blessing was just a secondary thought that people didn't really end up going for a lot of the time. But now we see lots of teams going for the Morris, or going for those Spirit Wells, going for you know, for the caves. We saw WBG, I think it was WBG, buying a Moonbane and a cave key and then securing it and allowing them to scale up that way. Some teams did go to the Realm of Yang, but they were already in a pretty good spot. They have a Realm of Yang oriented team, that sort of thing. So it's definitely given rise to lots of different ways to play the game, which I think is lovely to see. It's lovely to see. But yeah, and things are now picking up in this end game.
It's definitely as well when you see the fact that the blue troves no longer can give purple weapons. It's a lot more difficult to get gold weapons early game. Now there's so many more avenues to get these weapons. These players are sort of forced to do that instead of just trying to scale loot from troves. And it definitely adds a little bit more competitiveness to these mid games where, you know, usually we'll see a lull happen, but now with these Spirit Wells, they're trying to contest them, and the Realm of Yangs are a lot more interesting because it's such a higher risk and reward to
exactly. It's what they were supposed to be, I feel like.
And yeah, Naraka had a vision for it. It didn't really turn out to be that way because of the soul blooms, and they said, you know what, we're still gonna have our vision come true. They made some changes, and it's beautifully done changes. It's not too much, not too little of a change. But getting back into the action right now, WBG is gonna invest that Feria ultimate right away. Not really able to do too much there. Xiao is going to get a bit of a reset off in there, not doing too much damage. Bao Da now taking a lot of damage, and JL is going to try and come through with the Tessa ultimate, but Bao Da able to Wu Chen port out before any real damage gets done. We do see them taking a lot of damage on their Wu Chen. Bao Da with 8 kills on the board, doing pretty well for themselves, but they are getting caught out just like last game. This happened to them last game as well. We're going to see Yiran sending out those Wu Chen F swords to be able to get a little bit of shield back, create a wall of protection against these ranged attacks from these other players. Yiran going to try and scale up to the top. Going to get knocked off, though. OUG doing a great job of holding that last little bit of high ground. As the circle closes in, we're going to see Sleepwalker coming out with the ultimate on the Yodo, and Xiao getting dangerously low as well. This is going to be interesting to see as these players are starting to all funnel into the bottom, holding this last little bit of high ground, as on the other side, KLA just holding this high ground strong. Trying to contest is Bao Da as well up on top. And down at the bottom, the Spirit Well getting contested as well. JL jumping in with a huge tactical nuke of a Viper ult, taking out CXZ, just tactically jumping in, sending that Viper ultimate off, and then Wu Chen porting to finish that off. They are going to be able to get CXZ back, but that is going to be a kill onto the board for that team. Phenomenal play here as OUG going to try and take out these members of WBG. Baiji is going to go down to the King with a nice cannon shot coming out there. King on the bottom trying to get up a bit of a reset off as these players are going to start funneling together. It looks like the circle is going to be ending more towards the top. Sleepwalker getting caught out at the bottom is going to end up going down. OUG trying to bring himself back up without taking too much damage. They are going to be able to catch out a couple of these players from JL. Is going to end up getting parried here, or getting a parry, as we are going to see CJS, trying to make something happen. Bao Da's peak with a huge Viper ultimate on the bottom. OUG's SS getting caught out in the storm. GG getting knocked out into the back as well. Everybody trying to make it up as far as possible. OUG's U just pushing LXM as far away as possible into the circle. SS down at the bottom. JL just trying to hold onto the side of these buttery rocks as KLA still fighting for that high ground. They've been here the entire time, trying to let people not let anybody join to where they are at, holding the edge of this zone here, scaling up into the sky now as all of these players losing so much HP. We're seeing a pillar drop from, I believe, is Bao Da's Xiao, or WBG's Xiao, or gonna hop into that Feria mech, see if they can make something happen here. JL still with ult in hand, gets caught with the Tumult Wisp. Not gonna take too much damage off of that. The Tumultuous is going to end up dealing a decent amount of damage. We're going to see TXJ with a huge Viper ultimate here, but all the Wu Chen ports are going to come out, preventing it. Everybody's stunned. Nobody can move. What's going on?
This is just absolute chaos. The Kurumi ultimate being thrown down to try and keep whichever team's Kurumi ult that is. I don't know. I have no clue. Now this is an absolute banger of an endgame. OUGU with a huge parry, but the Cavalry Bloom coming in from KLA, and now everyone's dead. GG just trying to stay alive, but JL One Fung is going to be the last man standing. What just happened?